Hola, so this is our third lesson in our Comida y Bebidas, food and drinks series. So please put en casa, today's date, so it's enero at the moment, January, you can put whatever the number is before it, el something, and then we're in al restaurante today. So put that in your book if you're working in your book or on paper or Word, whatever it is you are putting all your work, okay? So by the end of today's lesson, you'll be able to recognise some more foods and drinks in Spanish. We're going to mainly do that through a listening activity, but also you're going to be able to order food and drinks in a restaurant. So when you're ready, let's continue. Okay, so we're first of all just going to recap some foods and drinks you've seen from the last couple of lessons and some adjectives to describe them. So you're going to set this out either like I have, like these boxes, or you could do them as bubbles or grid. It's up to you how you do them. As long as you have a section for masculine nouns, feminine nouns, masculine adjectives, and feminine adjectives. So a noun, remember, is a name, a place, or a thing. Now in Spanish, they often have la or el or los with them when we're talking about foods, that is. And then an adjective wouldn't have those with them. And a masculine adjective and a masculine noun, for example, this one here would end in O. Not always, but if they do end in O, then they are masculine. And if they end in A, then they are feminine. Like I said, not always. For example, words that end in T-I-O-N in English, which are C-I-O-N in Spanish, are always feminine. But the ones we're using today all end in either O or A. So hopefully you can put them into the right masculine or feminine, and then figure out, are they a food or are they a word that describes a food? There is one in there is a plural, but it's still either masculine or feminine. And there is also a word in there that is nothing to do with this topic, just to see if you can spot it. But it would still go in either a noun or an adjective and the right gender. So pause the video, categorize all these words, and then when you're ready to check them, unpause and continue. Okay, so we've done sano so far. Now la comida mexicana. Hopefully you remember that comida means food. In Spanish, adjectives come after, so this means Mexican food. It's feminine and its adjective is feminine. Now technically Mexicana is an adjective. You could have separated that and put it there, but when we want to describe Mexican food, it stays together as one thing. That is a thing, it's a noun. Okay, so la comida mexicana. Deliciosa, feminine spelling of delicious. Rico, the masculine spelling of rich. We're talking about foods that are quite rich, like a curry or something. Hermano is the word for brother, remember. So you might have accidentally categorized this as an adjective because it doesn't have the word for the or a with it. But I've thrown that in there just to see if you can remember it and keep you on your toes. La comida china is Chinese food. Grasienta, feminine word for fatty. Nutritivo, masculine word for nutritious. La comida rápida is fast food. Sana is the feminine word for healthy. Los perritos calientes are hot dogs. So we haven't done this before, but you might have noticed where it's got a the with it, and it's in the masculine form. Although it's plural as well, it's still masculine and it's got a the with it, therefore it's an object, it's a noun. Okay, and nutritiva is the feminine word for nutritious. So hopefully we remembered a few of those adjectives now, because we might use them to describe our food or reasons why we like our food in today's lesson. And also we need to remember that when we're ordering food, we often have the el or the la with it. But we'll see how we use it properly in a moment. Okay, so we're going to start by just building our vocabulary a little and improving our pronunciation, our listening skills, and our spelling skills in Spanish in one. So we're going to do a listening activity with a bit of a difference here. I'm going to play 12 fruit words, and rather than you writing down what they mean in English, these are 12 new words. And all I want you to do as you listen is to write down how you think they are spelt. You might be able to guess the English of some of them if they sound a little like the English. So you can write the English too if you want, and we'll add the English once we've gone through what they are. But during the listening, the only thing you need to be doing is writing Spanish of how you think they are spelt. So I'm only going to play each one once or twice, and then I'll say it slower. If you need to hear it again, then as this is a video, you can rewind and re-listen to the words as many times as you want, okay? They are all nouns. They all start with the, because when we say things like, I like to eat the chicken or whatever it is, so we need to either have el, la, los or las before it. Okay, so write 1 to 12 and la fruta in your books, and then let's begin. So here's number 1.
Los plátanos.
And again.
Los plátanos.
So I'll say that again for you now slower. Los plátanos. Los plátanos. Okay, so that one doesn't look anything like the English word we use for this fruit. It does sound a little like another word for it, or a type of it, but don't worry about the English. So, los plátanos, plátanos, and then let's go on to number 2. So if you need to pause at any point or rewind, that's fine. Don't feel like you have to go at this speed, because you can take the time to pause to write things down. Okay, number 2, dos.
Las moras.
And again.
Las moras.
So this is las moras. Las moras. Okay, 3.
La sandía.
And again.
La sandía.
This is la sandía. La sandía. You might be able to work out with some words have accents where they put an emphasis as well. Okay, not all words do. Okay, number 4.
Las peras.
And again.
Las peras.
So this is las peras. Las peras. Okay. Number 5.
Las frambuesas.
Just say them in a quite strange way sometimes. Let's play this one again.
Las frambuesas.
So this is quite a long one. Las frambuesas. I'll break it up a little. Las frambuesas. Las frambuesas. Número 6.
La piña.
And again.
La piña.
So that's la piña. La piña. So think about how we make that ñ sound. La piña. Okay, 7.
Las uvas.
And again.
Las uvas.
So this is las uvas. And think about that but sound very carefully. Las uvas. Okay. 8.
Los melocotones.
And again.
Los melocotones.
So los melocotones. Los melocotones. Okay, when you're ready for number 9, 9.
Los pomelos.
And again.
Los pomelos.
So that's los pomelos. Los pomelos. Okay. 9. 10.
Las fresas.
Las fresas. Las fresas.
Las fresas.
And then 11.
Las naranjas.
And again.
Las naranjas.
So that is las naranjas. Las naranjas. Okay? And then when you're ready for the last one, 12.
Las cerezas.
And again.
Las cerezas.
So this is las cerezas. So think about those th sounds, and they aren't made by the same letter. So is different to the other th sound later. Cerezas. Because if you put the letter you've used at the start before an A, it would not make a th sound. Just to give you a little clue. Okay. So if there are any you need to hear again, go back and re-listen. If you feel you've had a really good go at all the spellings, then let's check them. Okay. So the first was los plátanos, which are bananas, because bananas come from the family of plantain, so they are called plantain in some countries. Well done if you managed to work out there's an accent there, los plátanos, but it's much harder when you're first learning to work out where the accents go. Okay. Wrong way. Okay, blackberries is the next one then, las moras, a little bit of an easier one to spell. So check your spellings now in a different colour and correct any mistakes that you've made, okay? Watermelon is la sandía, that has got an accent there. Pears are las peras. Now you might have put P-E-A-R-A-S because you could hear the peras sound, but remember, because every letter is pronounced in Spanish, if it was spelt like that, then it would have been pronounced pearas, okay? Number 5, las frambuesas for raspberries. 6 is la piña, pineapple. So I wonder if you managed to get the, what we call a tilde, that little squiggle on the top of the N, to make the ny sound. Grapes are las uvas. So well done if you worked out that they use a V for a but sound. And they don't tend to have a lot of words with but in the middle. It's more likely to be a V, but they do, like for example, frambuesas here. Los melocotones were peaches. Grapefruit are los pomelos, grapefruits. Strawberries, las fresas. Oranges, las naranjas. Well done if you got the J for the sound. And las cerezas are cherries. Okay, so all of these, except for watermelon, are in the plural form. So raspberries, watermelons, pineapples. So obviously, oh sorry, that one's in the single there. If you want to just say one strawberry, you say una fresa. Okay, so we've learned a few more words and hopefully improved our association with certain sounds, with certain letters, like remembering our V sounds and the ny sounds and that sort of thing. Okay, so fantastico. Right, so our second objective was to be able to order food and drinks at a restaurant. So one day, sooner or later, a lot of you might end up visiting Spain because it is the country that is most visited by British tourists every year. Now, unfortunately, obviously, at the moment, none of us are going anywhere near Spain for some time, but hopefully it'll all we'll also be able to travel again. Okay, so instead of feeling silly and trying to order something in a bar or restaurant in really slow, loud English, which is what some people do, assuming that everybody in Spain can speak English, and you might have a waiter who has learned English and that's why they've been hired, because they can speak English, and you get a lot of British tourists on the coast of Spain. It'd be much better to be able to memorize some of these and be able to order in Spanish. You're more likely to get a much better authentic experience. They'll appreciate you having a go. And also we want to be able to understand what we're ordering as well and not make any mistakes and have something come to the table that you've no idea what it is. So in your books then, so if you're doing this day, I just realized I had the date and in class there again, so I've removed those. Okay, so in your books, we've got El Restaurante as a main title, but we'll put it there again as a subtitle. It means in the restaurant. And I just want you to copy this vocabulary down so that you've done it in the written form to help it stick in your heads, okay? So voy a comer is actually the future tense. So we're learning another tense here which boosts our level. So voy is I am going to, and then we need the a, to, and then comer means eat or to eat, okay? Even though we've learnt that como, so C-O-M-O is I eat, you wouldn't say voy a como, because that's saying I'm going, I eat. We have to have it in what we call the infinitive form, if you remember that. The to form, the ER at the end of that means it's going to, it's to eat. It's not telling you any person or anything. So when we learned, you take off those last two letters, you add a new person, to make it I eat, como. Okay? But this is our future tense, we're keeping it there in the infinitive. Voy a comer. So you can write that down. Then we have me gustaría comer. That's something else you could say. And this is another tense again. I would like to eat, something we call the conditional tense. So by using these phrases in our work, we're boosting our level up into the 6s and 7s because we're using different tenses. So I'm going to eat and I would like to eat. You could use either of those. You can also say I want to eat, quiero comer. Or obviously then we can change the comer into beber. Voy a beber, I'm going to drink. Me gustaría beber, I would like to drink. Quiero beber, I want to drink. Okay, so you've got a range of phrases we can use. We can then extend our answer by saying de primer plato for starter, or de segundo plato for second dish, in other words for main, and de postre for dessert. So we learnt these last week. So for first dish, literally for first plate, in other words for starters, how they say it, okay? And then at the end, you would need to ask for la cuenta, por favor. And then hopefully we know por favor then is please, and gracias is thank you. Spanish people don't tend to use polite greetings like that as much as Brits, but they would be expecting it from British people because they know we do. So it's always good to still be polite. So write these down in your book and let's just practice how we say them. So when you're ready to just practice the pronunciation and pause and repeat after me. So voy a comer. Me gustaría comer. Quiero comer. Let's try one with beber. Me gustaría beber. De primer plato. De segundo plato, de postre, la cuenta, por favor. Okay, then obviously we put these together, so you could say, for starter, I would like to eat, de primer plato, me gustaría comer, and then whatever it is, okay? Or for dessert, I would like to eat de postre, I want to eat de postre, quiero comer, la tarta, the cake, whatever it is, okay? So what you're now going to do is you're going to write the Spanish out for these and then translate them into English, okay? So use all the vocabulary from before. So we can see me gustaría comer, so we've got that there, I would like to eat. Pescado y verduras, so you've got that in your books or your work from last lesson, the different foods. And then por favor, please, okay? So anyone remember what pescado is? Think about the Welsh pysgod. Good, so that's fish. And then verduras, have a little look back if you need to. Pause and find that word. Good, so if you found it, well done. Remember, it's vegetables. Okay, so I would like to eat fish and vegetables, please. Okay, so do the same for all the others now. And then when you're ready, unpause the video and check them. Here we are then. So I want to eat a hamburger with chips, please. I want a vegetarian pizza, please. I would like a cheese sandwich and for dessert, a strawberry ice cream. I want to eat a tomato salad or a salad of tomatoes you might have put. And then finally, I'm going to eat a ham sandwich first, or I'm going to eat a ham sandwich firstly, and a fruit salad for dessert, please. Okay, so some of these phrases we haven't put together before, like una ensalada de fruta, but hopefully you've been able to work it out. In Spanish, you cannot put two nouns together, two things. So you can't say flower pot, fruit salad, strawberry ice cream. You have to say a pot of flowers, a ice cream of strawberries, a salad of fruit. So they use this word de in the middle of, okay? Good. So if we were on the other side then, if we were the waiter, we need to understand what they're asking us. So que is what, and instead of, if we flip back to here, we have voy a comer, this means I am going to eat. They have vas a comer, so what? You going to eat. So what are you going to eat? Que vas a comer? Let's try that. Que vas a comer? And then if we're going to say what you're going to drink, you would say que vas a beber or we can use a different phrase, which is what do you want to drink. ¿Qué quieres beber? So we had quiero before, I want to, and this is how you say you want to. So you can see all you verbs end in an S, okay? So that's a pattern you will start to notice. So, ¿qué vas a comer? What are you going to eat? ¿Qué quieres beber? What do you want to drink? Or if you want to say, what do you want to eat? ¿Qué quieres comer? And then we have our different options for answers. So can you write these questions down with the Spanish and the English? And then unpause once you've done that, please. Okay, so you should have written down these 4 lines here so that we know what a waiter might ask us. What you're now going to do is have a go at a role play. Now, if we were in class, you would be doing this with somebody else and pretending you are in a restaurant and one of you be the waiter and one of you be the customer, but obviously we can't do that, okay? So what we're going to do is you're going to pretend that you're in a Spanish restaurant and pretend to be both the waiter and the customer to practice both and just write down a simple role play, okay? So you would write down like a drama script, waiter, hola, ¿qué vas a comer? They could even ask, how are you at the start? You could include that. And then if you want to record your conversation and send it back to me to check, then that's great, so I can check your pronunciation and you can just have a go at saying it. You can, if you want as well, get somebody else in your house to be the waiter and you be the customer. Even if they aren't quite sure they know what they're saying, you could do it that way, okay? But the most important thing is that you write down your role play, so I know everybody's done that, but you can record it on your phone and then email it to me or upload the recording to add submission with your work, okay? So once you've done that then, so pause to give yourself the time, and then once you've done that, we're going to go on to a listening activity. Okay, so you're going to listen to 5 mini conversations between a waiter and a customer, and you need to write down the food and drinks that they would like to order, and they sometimes then as well give an opinion whether they like or love the food, and they will always give an adjective. Now it sounds a bit strange. You're not likely usually in a restaurant to say I'd like to order fish and chips because I love chips, but for this it just gives us extra practice of the opinions, okay? So you can just write across your page. You don't necessarily need to do the columns. You can just put number 1, say they wanted bananas, then 1 bananas, comma, coffee, comma, tasty, whatever it is, okay? So try and at least get the food and drinks as an extra. See if you can flip back and look at the adjectives or opinions you heard from last lesson too. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the recording here with me, so I'm just going to say it myself, okay? I'm only going to say each one once, and then you just go back and repeat the listening if you need to, so just rewind the video, okay? Okay, so number 1, number 1 when you're ready. So, ¿qué vas a comer? Me gustaría comer patatas fritas y el pescado. Y para beber, quiero beber un té, porque es sabroso. So that's all of number 1. They gave a food order, a drink, and they gave an opinion on one of the things they ordered. So if you need to hear that again, then rewind it. Otherwise, you're writing all your answers down in English, okay? When you're ready, then, número 2. ¿Qué vas a comer? De segundo plato voy a comer las verduras y el carne. ¿Y qué gustaría beber? Me gustaría beber el agua. Me gusta el agua porque es sano. So that one gave an opinion and an adjective. Rewind again if you need to. When you're ready, unpause and move on to number 3. So 3. ¿Qué vas a comer? Voy a comer la sopa. Y para beber, voy a beber un café. No quiero más porque Detesto las patatas fritas. Odio las patatas fritas. Okay, when you're ready for número 4. Hola, señor. ¿Qué te gustaría comer? Me gustaría comer el pollo y el arroz. ¿Y qué te gustaría beber? Me gustaría beber un vino tinto. Me gustaría el pollo porque me encanta la comida picante. And then finally, número 5. Voy a comer los mariscos. Y con los mariscos me gustaría beber un zumo de naranja. Porque es nutritivo. Okay, so you might want to listen to that one in particular again, because that drink includes a new word we've done today, new fruit. Just give you a clue. So once you have listened to those as many times as you want, and you try to get 2 out of at least 3 of the everything for each question, then unpause and mark your answers in a different colour. Okay. So number 1, they wanted to order fish and chips with tea because it's tasty, sabroso. Okay. Number 2 said verduras y el carne, vegetables and meat, or meat and vegetables with water. They said they like it because it's healthy. Number 3 wanted to order soup and a coffee, but nothing else. They hate chips. Number 4 was ordering chicken and rice. We've only seen rice a tiny little bit. It was el arroz. So well done if you remembered that word. And they were ordering red wine, and they love it because it's spicy. Or they love spicy food, rather, they said. And finally, los mariscos, remember, with seafood, back from our first lesson, or second lesson. And zumo de naranja, juice of orange, because it's nutritivo, nutritious. Okay, so give yourself a mark out of 15. And then when you're ready, we can finish. So well done, Year 9. So in today's lesson, you've done 2 listening activities, and you might have even done a speaking as well if you've managed to record your role play, or you could do that later on. And we've hopefully been able to recognise now some phrases we can use to order food in a restaurant and understand how we would order food in a restaurant. So excelente. As usual, submit your work to add submission. The most important thing for me to see is your role play, so I can check that that's been written correctly. Okay? Fantastico. If you want to just check your understanding of these as well before you finish, have a little read of these, maybe see if you can say them, and then I will say them quickly and you can check what they mean, if you can remember what they mean. So pause the video, say them, and unpause to hear my pronunciation. So you have los plátanos, las moras, la sandía, las peras, las frambuesas, la piña, las uvas, los melocotones, los pomelos, las fresas, las naranjas, las cerezas. Muy bien.